Hi everybody, I'm Jordan Rolfus.
And I'm Selena Rolfus.
Even though half the time I don't actually go ahead and call her Selena, I call her Squeaky, Squeak-Doo, Raver. So 90% of the time when we're actually hanging out with people we're meeting for the first time, I just call her three different things and nobody ends up actually knowing her name. But yeah, Selena Rolfus, Squeak-Doo, we are going to be unboxing a Neo Geo AES, Advanced Entertainment System, and do you think we should do a theme song for this video?
Yeah, that would be cool.
Okay, so after the theme song here, we're going to start unboxing a Neo Geo Advanced Entertainment System.
So you did some online shopping.
I did some online shopping, yes, with the Neo Geo Advanced Entertainment System. Now, how much do you know about the Neo Geo?
I know that it's probably not organic prunes like the box says.
Yeah, Taylor Organic Prunes, and the funny thing about this is I actually imported this from Japan. This box is Japanese with made in California organic prunes, so and this came before the games in this box here. Yeah, and I know which one's which because obviously I imported the one from Japan and the games that were coming in from Florida and they just came in today. So before I start tearing into this, how much do you know about the history of the Neo Geo?
Beyond the fact that it's not prunes, I really don't know too much.
Okay, well, the Neo Geo was developed by a company known as SNK, the Shin Nihon Kikaku, the New Japan Project. That company was started in 1978 by a guy named Eikichi Kawasaki, and he was a former boxer who ended up managing a coffee shop, and then he ended up managing a small construction company, and throughout the 1970s he got a lot of electrical equipment and stuff. This is my little cheat sheet card with all the names and pronunciations here. But anyway, Kawasaki got a lot of electrical equipment in the 1970s, and then in 1978 he moved strictly to video game arcade development. And the Neo Geo was basically a good answer for a lot of arcades, because typically, you know, things like at an arcade, a cabinet would have one program lodged in it, and switching out a game, you'd have to switch out that whole entire cabinet, and that could cost you a couple $1,000s. The nice thing about the Neo Geo was they developed something called the multi-video system. It's the Neo Geo multi-video system developed by the SNK company, and basically they were these, well, not little, as you'll see in a few moments. They were these cartridges that you could just put inside the cabinet. So you could even have multiple cartridges in there. So you could have quite a few different games like Fatal Fury or King of Fighters in one cabinet. And when the customers want something else, you could just go ahead and switch out the cartridge, and you don't have to worry about spending gobs and gobs of money on a brand new cabinet system. So that developed in 1991 when the SNK company came up with the Neo Geo system. It was originally intended for hotels and restaurant chains, but then there was an interest that home consumers would be willing to pay about $650 for a console, and of course $650 back in 1991, when you adjust it for inflation, is a little bit over $1,000 today.
Wow.
Yeah, so $1,000 for this little thing here. It was the most expensive console right after the Panasonic 3DO. And basically, the company SNK decided, well, if gamers are willing to pay this, we'll go ahead and release the Advanced Entertainment System, the home version of what you get at the arcades. And everything on the home version of the Neo Geo is exactly what you would see at an arcade.
And that was a big deal back in the 90s. I remember in game magazines they would always tout arcade quality graphics.
They would, yes. Arcade quality graphics. Of course, to be fair, I've never noticed any sort of, like, difference between what you would see at an arcade and, like, the Super Nintendo.
I feel like maybe, like, fighting games like Mortal Kombat was a little different.
Okay, yeah, but I don't know. The Mortal Kombat on the Super was still pretty spot on, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Super Nintendo was like wolf, you know? So, yeah, that's, and of course, going back to the history of the Neo Geo a little bit, so the games at release cost about $200, but keep in mind, arcades were actually buying these games too to put in their cabinets. So you could put it in your cabinet at an arcade, and you could also put it in your home advanced entertainment system. In 1994, Neo Geo released SNK. I'm referring to Neo Geo as the company.
And that's the same as Capcom versus SNK, right?
Yes, that's a little bit later on. Yes, Capcom versus SNK. Yes, all of the SNK fighters. Mai from Fatal Fury and King of Fighters, she will eventually become a mascot for SNK.
Oh, I love Mai.
Yeah, I kind of do too. Probably not for the same reason you do. But 1994, they released a CD version of the console because I think that was like law back in the 90s. You pretty much, every gaming console had to have a CD version.
Right.
There was the Atari Jaguar CD, the Sega CD, and none of those really worked all that well. I'm not even going to try to look for a Jaguar CD because that's cost prohibitive and the darn things don't even work.
Ah.
So, yeah, that would be a waste of time. But 1994, they go ahead and release a CD add-on, and then they developed the Neo Geo Pocket, which was only released in Japan, didn't sell too good. Then they do the Neo Geo Pocket Color, and by about the year 2000 and 2001, SNK was going through a lot of financial difficulties. They pretty much sold all of the intellectual property rights of all their franchises to outside companies. But then, in late 2001, Kawasaki developed an interest in it again, so his new company, Playmore, went ahead and bought back all of these rights, and you still have SNK as a company now. You can still buy Fatal Fury and King of Fighters on the Xbone or the PlayStation 4 or whatever. But yeah, the Neo Geo stopped production at around 2001 when they realized, yeah, nobody's really buying this, and I think the official final game for the Neo Geo was released in like 1997, but yeah, that's just such a hard thing to sell people on, like nearly $700 for a console, and if you want 3 games, you're almost looking at almost like $3,000
Wow.
there, and that just, when we were kids, that was cost prohibitive.
I remember we used to walk past that stuff in Babbage's to get to the Super Nintendo.
Yes, Babbage's always had the weird consoles, the Neo Geo and the 3DO and the Jaguar, the things that we could never afford. And even then, like, if you look back at some of those retro ads for the Super Nintendo games, like, that was a lot of money for those cartridges.
Yeah.
Oh, Mommy and Daddy buying us all those good things. Good for them. They love us, and we love them too.
Yep.
Yeah. I think my mom's actually in the next room, and I know my mom and dad both watch my videos, so I love you guys, and they love us, so that's good. What were some other points about the history of the Neo Geo? It was the first one to use a memory card slot, but I might be getting a little ahead of myself here. So we covered basically everything. We don't know how many units the Neo Geo sold because nobody really did a reliable count, but if you take all of the Neo Geo products and summate, aggregate them, total them up, and calculate them up, you're probably looking at less than 1 million units worldwide. I don't know if that's the correct number. Getting a correct number is a little weird, but let's go ahead and start unboxing. We'll start
Tear into it like Christmas morning.
Yeah! Very few Neo Geos were under Christmas trees, I don't think.
That would be like Richie Rich.
Richie Rich and his dog Dollar. Oh, and of course, I don't know how well this is coming through in the video, but EMS is Japan's really fast shipping service. Like, I ordered this on Friday, I got it Monday morning. That totally surprised me. I hope there are no surprises in this box, actually.
Only good ones.
Only good ones, yes. Arr. Unboxing videos. I've never done one. Yeah. So, Squeak-Doo, you're a fan of and I am too, of a lot of the, good YouTubers like Kelly Eden and Hello Batty, and they do unboxings all the time.
Yes.
And Justine, she does a lot of, really good unboxing. So if you want to see a good unboxing, hop over to their channels.
After you watch this video.
After you watch... I don't know if I can't... Oh, man. And wouldn't that be horrible if I, accidentally got you with the scissors? I bet you wish I went that way.
That would get a lot more views.
It would. I may have to call this video "Idiot YouTuber Stabs His Sister with Scissors," an unboxing video. Neo Geo console set, thanks eBay. Oh, and he packed it with Japanese newspapers.
Oh, those are always fun to look at.
They are, yes. They're so much happier than our newspapers here. Our newspapers are all death and destruction, and the Japanese ones, the first thing I see is some food here.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Looks like a review for a restaurant, maybe.
Yeah, maybe a restaurant review, yeah. And we have a manga-looking cartoon here about health and whatever. Yeah, so Japanese newspapers, they're so much fun and a lot happier and chiller than what we have here in the United States. Ooh, he did a very good job packing. And... here is the power cord. And this right here is the controller.
Ah!
So Squeaky's kind of pleasantly surprised about the controller here because...
I was expecting a big old monster like the Jaguar controller.
Actually, the ones that came with the console were much bigger than the Jaguar controller. They were about the size of the console itself, which we'll get to in just a moment, and it was like an arcade D-pad, but this feels really good. And of course we have an AV cable. You guys know what an AV cable is, so I won't, show you how, look how impressive the AV cable is. And here, a thing that I never thought I would ever actually hold in my hands. A Neo Geo Advanced Entertainment System by SNK Corporation. Yeah, buddy, I never thought I would ever hold one of these in my hands. And yeah, the controller was about the size of the console itself here. And it was a straight up arcade D-pad because, the idea is arcades, It has a reset button. It has here a memory card input, right here. This was the first console to use external memory for saving. And I actually did not order a memory card. I hope that's not a decision I'm going to go ahead and regret. And it has a headphone jack. Yeah, a lot of the consoles did, and I guess you can change the volume on it. Yeah, it doesn't mention the 24-bit system. It did refer, in a lot of the marketing stuff, they called this a 24-bit system, which is kind of some weird math, because, I know, me and my rambling videos, you know, I'm already like 15 minutes in, but, so, you know, you have, computers do binary, right? 0 and 1. That's all a computer understands. 0, 1.
Right.
So you have, and that's what we call base 2. 2 to the first power is, you know, 2. Well, 2 to the 0 power is 1. 2 to the first power is 2. 2 squared is?
4.
2 cubed is?
6.
No. 8.
It's 8.
Yes. Yes.
That was not my strong subject.
So, yes. 2 cubed is 8. So, and then what would 2 to the 4th be?
Is it 24?
No, it would be 16.
Oh.
Like Super Nintendo.
Okay.
2 cubed is 8, like the regular NES. 2 to the 4th would be 16, like Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. What would 2 to the 5th be?
I'm gonna guess 64 to coincide with the N64.
You skipped one. It would be 32.
Oh.
You see, what we're doing is we're multiplying each one by 2.
Okay.
So 16 times 2 would be 2 to the 5th, and then that would be 32, which is the PlayStation 1, the 3DO, and the Sega Saturn.
You could call this video Sister Doesn't Know Math.
I could, yeah. Aw. Well, I mean, you just came in from work, you had a hard day of doing all sorts of math, and I bet you didn't expect a big old math quiz here. But, okay, so, once you get to 0 and 1, those are called bits. 8 bits, a group of 8 of those bits, is called a byte. So the NES is 8 bits, or 1 byte, and we won't go into how many bytes is in N64 or whatever, but yeah, so from that point then, 24-bit, and I mean, you can have a 24-bit registry. It's just kind of weird. I mean, there's no law saying you can't have that, but it's weird. It's just a little bit bizarre. So that is the actual console here. Very nice. I'm going to make sure I put everything back so I don't lose it. And these are the games. Now, each one of these games are going to have their own special little video, but in the woefully misguided interest of trying to keep my videos shorter, I am doing the history and explanation now, and I'll just link to the history if you don't know what a Neo Geo is. You can just go ahead and click the video when I talk about each of these individual games. I try to specialize in, you know, retro stuff that maybe not a lot of people are talking about. And yes, you can put these in a Neo Geo system, and you can put them in an arcade cabinet. No fighting games. I did not order the King of Fighters, and I did not order
That's
Fatal
a
Fury.
game?
Yes, this is what the Neo Geo games look like.
It looks like a book, like book size.
Like book size, like VHS size, yes.
Oh, and it rattles.
It does rattle like a VHS, doesn't it? Like, yeah, Magician's Lord, a nice little platformer game here. This was eventually a pack-in game with the Neo Geo, but that didn't really do much to bolster sales. This one, which was not shrink-wrapped, Vietnam, 1975. And of course, as always, thank you to any veterans who may be watching, and thank you to any allied countries who might be fighting with us and supporting the United States in our endeavors to keep the world free and safe. I really do appreciate your sacrifice, and you have more courage in your toenail than I will ever have in my entire body, so you have my heartfelt thanks and prayers. The Super Spy, and of all the games that we have, this one got the worst reviews, so I don't know. I know nothing about these games. I have not touched them. I have not played them. And a racing game, a Riding Hero. So, for this whole package here, obviously they were from different sellers and came from different places and at different times. This whole package of Neo Geo system, controller, power adapter, and 4 games, it cost me $450.
Wow.
So, do you think that's good or bad?
I don't know. I mean, you're more of a collector than I am, so if it was something I was really seriously into collecting, then yeah, I would probably be okay with it. Me, myself, I would probably just try to download what I could off the Virtual Console or on Steam.
Yeah, because the Virtual Console's, you know, chomping at the bit to get NAM 75 and the Super Spy on there.
Well, they might get the Wizards. That looks kind of cool.
Yeah, the Magician Lord. Yeah, I have no idea what any of these are like, so this should be a very fun night we have. But I do think this is a good deal. The price of just the Neo Geo console without any power cords or any AV cords or even any controllers goes for about $300. These games alone, I could not find any of these individual games for under $100. And the whole game, these whole 4 games, totally, cost me like $100 something.
Oh, so that is a good deal.
Yeah, I mean, I was very, very lucky with my initial Neo Geo collecting here, and this will be a collection I'm going to build up very, very slowly, because, remember, if an arcade has a Neo Geo cabinet, they could put this right in there, and it'll be good to go. So, yeah, this will be a collection I build very, very slowly, and so I guess that's it for unboxing the Neo Geo. I'm Jordan Rolfus from Beagle Rampant Productions.
And I'm Selena Rolfus.
And, of course, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to our channel. I'm going to put a link to Squeaky's Instagram account down in the description below. Go ahead and give her some follows and some likes. She's always posting trendy, modern, fun stuff or whatever, so that's always a good trip. And of course, I say it every video, and I mean it every video. I have the best fans in the entire world, and I really appreciate all of your support and all of your kindness and consideration watching these videos, and I hope you enjoyed our little talk about the history of the Neo Geo, and until that point, until the next video, that'll probably be a Learn Spanish video, unless I get something really cool that I just have to unbox, my first unboxing video. I think I did a good job.
I think you did, yeah.
Cool. Well, I got Squeaky's seal of approval, so hopefully I get your guys's. I have the best fans in the world, so I don't have too much to worry about. I'm Jordan Rolfus from Beagle Rampant Productions, and I will catch you guys next time.
Bye.